Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Aufmuth. If you do not know me, but I believe I started. My story, 5 years, that's how long I've been at the U of A. I'm going to be real with you guys. I spent most of that time by myself. Most of that time not part of a community, alone, struggling, and wondering what my part in all of this was. And then that was the first 3 years of high school before I was introduced to SHPE. SHPE UA has become my reason. My reason to stay in school, my reason to get better grades, and my reason to become a better person. Without this club, honest to God, I have no idea what I'd be doing today. I probably wouldn't be in the position I am. All my academic successes I've had in the last 2 years, from research to getting internship opportunities, I can attest straight to this club, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. Seeing those changes in my own life is what pushes me to make sure other people in this club get the same experience, the opportunity to meet like-minded people going through the same thing, to make friends and business connections along the way. What I've seen. Being a GBM member for the last 2 years, I've been able to witness the e-boards in their entirety. I've seen what works well for our club and what does not work well. I watched Marcel and Excel do outstanding work to make sure our club maintain external communication with sponsors and alumni. They had a few things in common that I do plan on practicing and keeping in place. Their professionalism, their personality, and their incredible proactiveness, making sure our members always had opportunities in front of them. As president, I would make sure those qualities are improved and continued, so we maintain our core values and objectives, so you all benefit from what you're supposed to get out of this club. Now my concern. Now with the good, there's some room for concern. I've watched this club go from 50 plus members in their initial GBM meetings 2 years ago to now where we average 20 or less, and that's not okay. For that, I have what I call a slingshot plan that I plan to introduce that would allow us to address these concerns head on. First, my first order of business would be transparency. I want to bring more transparency at a high level to the club so people coming in that are new have a good understanding of what's happening. The general body should be more aware of what's happening every day and what's going to happen. To do that, I plan on doing an overhaul of our website entirely. I plan on doing that so everyone can see at a high level what we're planning on doing, the events that we're going to have, the volunteer list, everything all in one place as a source of truth. On top of that, I also plan on overhauling our Discord, getting rid of some of the clutter and unused chats and channels that haven't had messages in a year or two, and making sure that people, when they join, have a good understanding of where to go to find what they want. All these changes would clear up ambiguity and allow us to operate more effective and optimally. My second big part of this plan would be e-board accountability. This year in particular, I saw a quality decrease in some of our events that I believe is not okay, and as a member myself, very concerning. This lets us get ahead of our problem, excuse me. These events are the pillars of our club, and without them, we're losing our way. And they need to be treated in a way where we show that they're important. Going forward, each event VP will have accountability presentations at GBM meetings where they present what they've accomplished, the things they need to get done, and if they need help, and everything will be shown to the GBM members so that if they need or want to volunteer, they can. Doing this, it allows them to be more transparent and show their clear goals going forward. Third, more responsibility. Being part of the general body for the past 2 years, I've made every effort to be involved as possible. I've been workshop leads for Science Day, ALEX, and volunteered for as many events as I can, and I truly believe that's why I'm in the position I am today. I'm going to implement more roles. Cabinets for event members, or for e-board members that need them. So if you're running ALEX and you need a team of people to help you coordinate what's happening, or Science Day, or secretary, and then these roles will give people more sense of belonging. As they come into the club and they don't know who they are yet, they'll be able to sign up for these roles and immediately see the benefits of it. They'll be able to put on their resumes that they're involved in a professional society and can contribute to these events. And that, I think, will help solve our retention crisis right before and after National Convention. And then why running? These plans are ambitious, no question. I think they're hard. I think they will be hard to implement and go forward, but they're not impossible. We're an amazing group of people. All of us in here are incredibly capable, and we can do great things when we do it together. And there's no reason the SHPE should not be the largest STEM club at the U of A. My desire to be the president of the Society of Hispanic and Professional Engineers comes directly from my heart. I fell in love with this club when I realized what it's capable of doing, and that's changing lives like it changed mine. And I want to be able to continue to bring those benefits to other people as they come in so they can also have their lives changed. As a senior leaving in December 2026, I want to make sure that every effort I put in is taken in stride for our next leaders to take over. And I want to make sure the club doesn't just survive, but thrives for the next 20 plus years. Thank you. Yes, Marcel.
You mentioned it at the very end there, graduating in December 2026, and I know that's a lot of, like, that's your negative of running for president, but a lot of people are wondering what's going to happen. What's your plan to, I guess, mentor or transition for the potential, if you were to win, for the EVP to become president in the spring semester? Great
question, great concern. I'm not discounting it at all. Vice president of the club would take over. That's how the bylaws would work for that. And as part of that process, I would make sure along the fall semester, I'm facilitating the whole time what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, how I plan on them doing it when I'm gone, so that things that we introduce in this slingshot plan stay in place, our retention stays in place, so when people take over next year and I'm not there to describe it, the vice president can. Aaron?
You mentioned stuff about accountability and how you want each board member to kind of show that in each GBM on their slides. How would you kind of implement that without having the announcements take 30, 35 minutes?
That's a good question also. I thought about that too, and since we have so many roles, I think the way we would do it is every GBM meeting, we would have 2 or 3 people that kind of just do a high level. And alongside with reworking the website being our source of truth, you kind of could go back and be like, this right here is what I'm working on, this is how I did it, this is how I plan on doing it, this is what I still need help on. And those steps, showing clearly to everyone in the general body what you're doing, I think is important. It allows us to have more stable events and make sure our things stay in place and don't fall apart. Ivan?
Follow-up question to what Marcel said. You are expecting the EVP to handle your transition in stride. It puts a lot of pressure on another position who usually, I mean, it is worst case scenario, it's a scenario that always is in people's minds, but now it's kind of seeming that if you win the guaranteed scenario.
Right.
It's putting a lot of stress on their shoulders. How could you possibly make sure that transition ends smoothly?
Good question. I think starting off knowing this and going in, anticipating them to take over, facilitating that transition literally from day one. So when I make a key decision, I'm explaining to the e-board and the general body why I'm making it, and the vice president is on board with that. And then making sure all of us on the same page and continue that going forward.
You mentioned the idea of cabinets. I want to say that's a really cool idea. I'm really surprised no one else has thought of that. Can you explain more of like how you have like cabinets installed? Is this going to be through a vote? Is this just going to be something that e-board member just chooses random people? How's that going to work?
Right. So I think the way that I thought through it for this is if ALEX, let's say, is our big event, and we're gonna have a lot of responsibility managing schools, managing events. I think you can have a cabinet member that's in charge of running like communications with the schools on top of what the already e-board position is doing, but allowing these titles to be given to people directly on the general body without running for e-board. And say you're a freshman, gives them a sense of like responsibility, and that sense of responsibility will transition when they go into their professional careers, and that's the point of our club. And I want to make sure that they have that. Rephrase your question one more time, so I make sure I'm answering it.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure it's like, how is an e-board member going to choose their cabinet? Is this going to be through a vote, or is this going to be something that the e-board member decides?
I think initially it would be volunteer-based because we don't have a ton of members currently as is. And if you have a position where you want to fill up 4 roles, and if someone wants that role, I would say give it to them. But if it is something that is competitive, that is where you could get into a vote or talk to your e-board and see who should have that position. Kind of similar to the cabinet. Not saying get rid of the cabinet, I'm just saying expand on it. Or the chairs, not cabinets. Yes?
I know like your, I think, main point with starting is retention, and it's a point that most of us are aware about, and how like we start as with the people and have other people have mentioned like throughout the night. It's usually after the convention that we start growing. I really think the biggest drop is during the spring semester because we definitely have less socials, we have less events to grow, so people tend to not come to life stream. And given that the EVPs also have their own plans on how to like do it, how we can ensure that they still get the chance to do their plans and things like fulfill their goals while still like being able to do that retention that usually is like
Great question. I believe that, yes, it is the VP's primary role, and it is something that is important for them as their role to facilitate and make sure it happens. My more concern for going into this is understanding that I want this club to survive, not just survive, but thrive. And as the executive of the club, it's equal importance to me that our retention stays high. Working with the vice president, making sure that their plans and my plans are concise and align with each other. If they have a great idea, I'm not gonna say no to that. I'm gonna say, yes, we should do that. And I think that goes true and true with our one source to everything. It's like if someone has a great idea and we actually plan something, everyone should know about it. I mean, yes, if the GBMs will announce it, but we'll also have it on the website, we'll have it on Instagram, and there'll be things along those lines. Any more questions? Ivan?
Speaking on tradition, we've usually had GBMs land on Mondays at 5:30 for years now. I asked the last candidate, or previous candidate, speaking, how do you feel about moving that time for accommodating to other GBM members? For example, this year, most of the AME students landing their senior year could not go to these meetings, and it wasn't because they didn't want to, it's because they had a class at the time.
So in a leadership position currently, I'm in with senior design. We do what's called when to meets, and I think not necessarily that we'll do when to meets, but we'll take an approach similar to that, where we do a general availability form and just kind of see when people are most available, and then work based off of that. Because again, there's certain colleges like SIE or AME that'll be at different times of day where it just won't work. But if we can make the collateral to that the less possible, the better. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I don't think we've had it before where say the president won and they have to say they graduate in the fall, that the EVP takes over. How would you facilitate the election of the new EVP?
To facilitate that, I would work with the board directly. I would make sure that we have a plan in place, kind of similar to this, where you would have a special one-off meeting, and it would only be one presentation. But you would have people that would sign up to be the EVP, and then you would go along with the election process for that in the spring, or the fall semester while I'm still here, and then into the spring, they would assume the role.
One more question.
Charles.
Alrighty, same thing with Ivan, asked this to the last person. I'm somebody who loves to talk, we've done a lot of great talking tonight. You've made a lot of great points, other candidates have made great points. But what I'm really concerned with is moving forward from talking.
Great question. I think that goes hand in hand with the plan idea, the accountability, the transparency, and everything. I myself would be part of that. Everything that I do would be clear and on display and making sure that what I'm implementing is working. If I have a plan for transparency and I want everyone on the website to be able to see, like, this is what I did, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to the website, I'm going to be like, this is what I did. I anticipate all of you guys to read this on the e-board, especially the e-board, but the GBM also. And that if it isn't working, people will call me out on it. I think that part of being a good leader is people lean on you, yes, but you lean on the people next to you. And as e-board, we're all leaders. So. Thank you.